Welcome back to the United Center, where the Blackhawks come in at 2-0-1 on this ice surface. And Eddie told you a little bit about Antti Raanta, who gets the start tonight. Corey Crawford, they're talking about upper body day to day. Now, those numbers from last year, a terrific rookie season for Antti Raanta, but it didn't finish really the way he wanted. He only had one victory his last 6 decisions, so he will be looking to get off to a very solid start this year. And his first start of the season tonight. At the other end, Steve Mason. Philadelphia has 4 points as a team this year. Ray Emery has 3 points out of 4 that he's played in. Steve Mason has been available for 6 points. He's taken 1. So not very good numbers for Mason to open up this season. He was yanked on Saturday. They played in Dallas. Gave up 4 goals and 18 shots. They pulled him. They came back to win that game. And we're underway now here in the opening frame.
And this first period is brought to you by Chevy and ChevyDrivesChicago.com.
Now a keep by Chalmerson. Long flip shot goes off a leg to Hossa. In behind for Toews. Donovan Toews working against McDonald. Now leaves it. Chalmerson joining the play. Chalmerson said it was at the feet of Hossa. Not a very good feed. That cost him a shooting chance. Oh, the Flyers had it, could not get it out. McDonald will try the other side. That is picked up by Raffel, who managed to clear it to center, and they'll dump it in from there. O'Duey had a stick lifted. Puck came loose on the boards. And the Flyers able to keep it in. Back of the goal, it goes centering pass deflected. On a good stick from Versteeg. It goes back to the line. Here's a long shot. Going wide of the target from Schultz. It comes to the near board. Held in there by Mark Streit, who cleared it into the corner. Deflects loose end of Versteeg. Able to clear it to center, which allows us to tell you that your AT&T Uber starting line are at the top of the screen. Here's a Kane takeaway center to Versteeg. And a Mason save. He's able to hang on.
Good quick stick there from Patrick Kane. Opportunity for the Flyers after the Hawks with a good start. And then Kane fresh on the ice. Wait. Gets his puck to Chris Versteeg. Not able to get a lot on that shot because he was backing away from Steve Mason. Look at Mason down there, Pat. Down very early. I'm sure the terrific video coach of the Blackhawks, Matty Meacham, will headset onto that Blackhawk bench. Those certain type of plays, seeing Mason go down, and Patrick Kane knows Steve Mason very well from playing with him in his junior days in the Ontario Hockey League in London, Ontario. So if you get an opportunity and you can hold on to that puck, just think about elevation, crossbarring in on Steve Mason.
All right, Kane's got it here. Not had a point in his last 2 starts. But they're getting close to the 500-point plateau in his career. Here's Shaw, whose shot is off a leg. And Schenn, Braden Schenn unable to handle it, but the Flyers bang it back. And this is going to be icing Philly. A reminder, as you enjoy a Coleman, look forward to Miller time later in the game tonight. It'll be brought to you by Miller Lite. So Brad Richards comes out between Brandon Saad on the right side, Brian Bickle on the left. The Blackhawks have opened the year with 7 points out of 8. I think it's safe to say that the Hawks would like to get this third line going. It really has not been tremendously effective in the early stages of the year. Here's a long shot going wide. Held in by Schenn. Luke Schenn bounced it around. It deflects to Bickle, is able to get it out.
A good stick there, Richards, defensively. And finally, the Hawks have a healthy lineup. Pat, getting Chris Versteeg back in the lineup. Now, I know Corey Crawford's out, but at least for skaters-wise, hand pass in the middle of the ice, that's what the whistle was for. But on the back end and up front, Joel Quenneville's got an opportunity to really look at his team and try to get some familiarity. Try to be a very deep team and spread that wealth around. Taking Shaw off that second line and giving Brad Richards an opportunity to play with Saad and Bickle.
Now Kruger, Smith, Carcillo, and the Hawks able to dump it in. McDonald hit it up the wall. Kruger unable to pick it up cleanly. And the Flyers' Grossman tapped it back into Chicago ice. Jones rolled it in behind the net. Now picked up Ronaldo. Zach Ronaldo cleared it in behind the Blackhawks goal. Vandeveld unable to pry it loose. Instead, Kruger, that he was checked. Vandeveld got it back. Shot never got to the net, and the Hawks will get it in to the offensive zone. Kruger weaving, wanted Carcillo, who stopped skating, so the puck was out of his reach. And now the Flyers able to clear it to center, and it deflects over the boards into the Philadelphia bench. We've not identified the arbiters tonight. Kelly Sutherland right there is paired up with Kevin Pollock as the referees. The linesmen Darren Gibbs and Ryan Galloway. Now with the Couturier line coming over the boards for Craig Berube, the Hawks Quenneville sends out the Taves grouping. And now it's dumped into Chicago ice. Seabrook back. Hit it up the boards. Taves got it out to Hossa. Back to the captain, Taves. Good back pressure, though, by Schenn for Philadelphia. And the Flyers able to get the puck back. Reed threw it towards the middle. Seabrook gloved it to the ice. Taves against Couturier in the corner. Seabrook there as well. He got it across to a wide-open Keith. Moved it ahead to Sharp. Patrick Sharp started his career as a member of the Flyers organization, and great trade made by Dale Talon got him into Chicago. It's been strawberries ever since. Now Hjalmarsson. Fires it out to Kane. Patrick Kane to Kris Versteeg. In it goes. And the Hawks rule to be offside on the play.
Well, Blackhawk fans, vote for the All-State Good Hands Play of the Week each week on ChicagoBlackhawks.com. You could have a chance to win a signed puck by the winning player and other great prizes. Visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for more information.
So Shaw and Giroux will get ready for the draw. Claude Giroux, Eddie told you a little bit about last year, finished third in the league in scoring. He actually had a dreadful start to the year, but turned it on in a big way in the last 60 games or so and finished with 86 points. That was third best in the entire NHL. Here comes Versteeg stepping in. He wants Shaw. The pass jumped loose. And winds up with Kane. He threw it out in front. Here's Oduya shooting. Mason, a point-blank stop. And the Flyers, Giroux starts back. Giroux in against Hjalmarsson is dumped in and picked up by Oduya. And the Hawks D-men, particularly this pairing, Hjalmarsson and Oduya, a couple of times have been active in the offensive zone.
Yeah, we saw it in the first shift where Hjalmarsson, it should be icing here.
And it is.
Yeah, Drew's not going to be able to make a change. I mean, first shift of the game, Pat, Nicholas Hjalmarsson was down below the goal line, and here a quick little turnover. Good support there from Andrew Shaw. Patrick Kane circling the wagons. It's Versteeg. It's Oduya. I think that pass was for Kris Versteeg, but Johnny Oduya, very well, thank you, tries to go 5-hole on Steve Mason. A good opportunity there for Johnny O.
Giroux able to hoist it out to center so the Flyers can try to make the change that they wanted. Van Riemsdyk. And his pass deflected center. Came back to Roosevelt, and now Wayne Simmonds, who comes off a great season, put it across. Schenn put it out in front. Good stick. And it deflects to the Flyers, and the shot went up high from Del Zotto. Michael Del Zotto rolled it ahead. Wayne Simmonds, that great year we talked about, he had 29 goals, best on the Flyers. The best year he's ever had.
And he's really turned into a really, really good two-way player.
Now Jones had his head down. Van Riemsdyk got a good piece of him, separated him from the puck. I said Van Riemsdyk, sorry, that was Roosevelt that delivered the blow, and now here's the kid, Van Riemsdyk, taking a look. Hawks dumped this, or an attempted dump in, sails over the glass, out of play with 6 minutes gone in a scoreless first period in Chicago.
Welcome back to the United Center up at press level. I'm Tracy Myers for CSNChicago.com. Talked with Antti Raanta this morning. He was a little nervous coming into this game, his first start of this season. But as far as those nerves go, he knows as long as he controls them, he'll be okay. Raanta said you always have the butterflies, and that's a good sign. You know your mind is ready to play. But if you have too many, you can see it on the scoreboard right away. Pat and Eddie, back to you.
Thank you, Tracy. Well, the best hockey video game is in stores right now. EA Sports NHL 15. You can lace up the skates and score goals like a lot of your favorite players. And maybe Wayne Simmonds is one of them. Which brings us to our EA NHL 15 Spotlight. And my great partner, the Hall of Famer himself, Pat Foley, just mentioned the numbers for Wayne Simmonds last year as a member of the Philadelphia Flyers. He's a tough customer too, partner. Like
he can chuck him.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to go ahead and try to wish you a happy birthday about 5 months early too. Like he knows how to use that part of the game to his advantage, and he goes to the net. Like he's a real good player in front of the net, and you want to score goals, that's the area to go.
All right, now Seabrook is going to be icing Chicago. We showed you right at the start of our broadcast the overtime win that the Flyers completed in Dallas on Saturday night. And how about this? I mean, they were down 4-2 going into the third period of that game. They came back to tie it. They gave up the lead with 5 minutes left. Then they scored right away to tie it up with 4 minutes left. And the overtime game winner gave them their first win of the year. Now they're 1-2-2 coming in, Eddie. I think a lot of folks are surprised a little bit by the start that they. Most people would have considered the Flyers to be one of the better teams in the East, but they have played some pretty solid competition here in the early stages.
Yeah, they've had a tough schedule, but when you talk about that game the other night in Dallas, Pat, with the numbers, they had a game earlier where they had Anaheim down 3-0. And it was Montreal. Excuse me, it was Montreal. They had Montreal 3-0 in a game, and Montreal just took over in the third period and eventually won the game in a shootout. So I mean, they've played some good hockey. They just haven't been able to be on the so-called winning end of it after ending that streak the other night in Dallas against a very quick, offensive-minded Dallas team.
Shaw wanted to get it to Kane, who was breaking, but pass picked off. Back come the Flyers. Here's Richard Umberger up off the glass.
Flyers have had about 4 or 5 attempts, and they've all missed the net. Because the Blackhawks are either in the lane, or there's their first shot on goal. Wayne Simmonds must have heard me there, Pat.
Yeah.
4 or 5 of their shots have missed the net, and Raanta's able to make his first official save.
So it took them 7.5 minutes to get a puck on target. They had several opportunities that missed. And maybe their thought process coming in is go up high. But you've talked about it, but most of the misses have been upstairs.
Yeah. You can practice all you want. I don't care what position you are, and especially goaltenders. You got to play. You got to get those. You got to get those reps in a game. And for Raanta, certainly that's what he's fighting here tonight in his first start during the regular season. A broken stick there right across the back of Duncan Keith by Braden Shen.
But we play on. A board battle won by Kane. He drives. He centered a shot. Big save by Mason. Versteeg had him to himself nearly. Now Kane. And it's bounced away from him to center ice. But boy, you got to like the chemistry in the early stages tonight between 88 and 23.
Yeah, how about the reception there by Patrick Kane, Pat? Looked like to me, knocked that pass out of midair to settle down, stay onside, then look for Chris Versteeg, who had a great chance, but just not getting that puck high enough with Steve Mason on his way down, was able to make the stop.
Roosevelt pressured in behind the net. Puck jumped loose. Flyers get it. Well, a centering attempt didn't connect, and Back comes Bickle. Back of the goal it goes. Vandevelde had it taken away. It comes to Van Riemsdyk, a long wrist shot. And a save made by Mason. Doesn't know where it is. And now lunging to cover, and he does. He got bumped back into his own net momentarily by one of his teammates, but never lost sight of the puck.
Nice play there from TVR, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, to just wrist this puck at the net. Look at the net front presence. There's Brandon Saad. Here comes Brian Bickle, too. Just pushing, bulldozing people, making sure he's trying to get a opportunity to get this puck. Not sure where this puck ended up. It was loose. Look at Bickle there. Just could not get a stick on it. Watch this play by Patrick Kane, Pat. Knocks it right out of midair, stays on side. Has the presence of mind to take a quick look. You got Shaw going to net. Here comes Kris Versteeg. Again, a lot of room upstairs. So if you're a Hawk shooter, hold on to that puck a second longer and throw those hands up towards the crossbar. But just a beautiful play there from Patrick Kane.
Now Raffl cleared it out, taken by Oduya. I think it was Grossman. Makes his way to center with a chip in. Elmerson. That's in contact with Raffl. He won the puck. Raffl threw it out front. A Schenn shot was off a leg, then the netting, and it's out of play.
Well, tomorrow, in celebration of CSN Chicago's 10th anniversary, we will be airing one of our favorite moments of the past 10 years, the 2005 NCAA Elite Eight thriller between the Fighting Illini and Arizona Wildcats. Plus, enjoy special 10-spot fun facts. Say that 3 times fast, partner, throughout the broadcast. Tomorrow at 7. One of those great 7 o'clock programming on CSN.
Face off to the Flyers, and Voracek's shot didn't get through.
That hit sharp, buckled him for a second.
Here's Hossa in for Sharp. His shot loved by Mason. Patrick Sharp, in every game he's played this year, has had at least 5 shots on goal. 2 goals and 2 assists in his first 4 starts of the season. But you talked about right in game 1, Eddie. I mean, he's been looking to shoot and not been shy about it.
Yeah, there he is, taking that shot right off the outside of it. Looked like outside of the foot, buckled him, but next thing you know, and I've been there, partner, little days, and all of a sudden you're on a rush. You got a chance to go on the offensive side of it. All of a sudden feels pretty good.
Pain-free.
That's it.
When the puck finds you.
Yeah, you're skating downhill.
Loose send pass. Look out in the Hawks bench. That deflects out of play.
Special shout out to Ashley Turlington of Chicago, Illinois. A big Blackhawks fan. Got a chance to meet her last night at the Buffalo Wild Wings out in Vernon Hills. We had a great turnout. A couple thousand people out there in Vernon Hills. So we appreciate all the Blackhawk fans that came out last night. Thank our buddy Brett Feather from Anheuser-Busch.
Guy knows how to throw a party, doesn't he?
Hey, more the merrier.
Yeah. All right, here's Reed with some room on right wing. He looks to center. The pass deflects to Versteeg. Kris Versteeg. Keith jumped into the play. He's got it. Keith now takes a look. Fires a long pass, trying to bank it to the front. It nearly did. Now it does get there, and Mason able to locate and cover, and Shaw creating a little havoc around the blue paint. The Flyers try to keep him away from their goaltender. So we're halfway through a scoreless first period. The shots are 8-1 Chicago so far.
Well, in our Illinois Lottery Anything is Possible flashback, we head back to Saturday night against the Nashville Predators. Jonathan Toews' game winner was the first shorthanded OT goal by a Blackhawks player in regular season game. It is our Illinois Lottery Anything is Possible flashback. You think about it, the Hawks were down 1 man in overtime, and in overtime you're playing with 4 guys, so 4 against 3, 3 against 4 for the Blackhawks. And I think also too, Pat, I had seen a note that was the first time that particular situation had happened in the NHL since back in 07, since 2007.
Wow.
for a game between I believe it was Carolina and the Flyers, and it was a defenseman in Glenn Wesley. Now a member of the Carolina Hurricanes organization scored a shorthanded goal in overtime.
And Eddie, remember how the Blackhawks were shorthanded? Patrick Sharp took an overtime penalty, which we characterized as a good play to make. I mean, the Hawks were going to give up a great scoring chance. Sharp took a guy down. It was a good penalty. Now look what happens. Not only did he kill it off, you go win the game shorthanded.
Exactly.
Nope. Take a bad penalty, half the time they wind up in your net. A good play by Sharp to deny what was going to be a very good scoring chance. All right, now here's Sharp in the corner for Taves. He tried to center one. Hossa well covered. And the Flyers' Simmons comes out. Throws it deep. R.J. Umberger couldn't pry it loose. And Taves goes to Hossa. Marian Hossa's had just 1 point so far this season. Checked here by Schultz. Taves got it back. Seabrook takes a look. His pass picked off. Now a pass finds Sharp. He gets in. Shooting. That's blocked out in front. He tried again. Hit the side of the net. And Braden Shen rolled it to the neutral area. Here's Richards stepping back in. Brad Richards couldn't get that shot attempt through. Saad didn't connect with anybody in the feed.
Trying to get the puck to Brent Seabrook. Fortunately for Brandon Saad, Seabrook was along the boards, not in the middle of the ice.
Now Seabrook finds Saad. He banks it ahead to Bickle. Brian Bickle back to Saad. He drives. He shoots. Mason the save. Rebound. Oh, what a recovery by Mason. Now another shot. Mason soaked that up. It's loose. They score. I said soaked it up. I shouldn't have. It came free. And Brandon Saad, who started the flurry, finished the flurry. It's 1-0.
You gotta love give-and-go hockey. Watch the play here from Brandon Saad to be able to move this puck off the boards and then move the puck and move yourself. Watch this. This is beautiful. Off the board, Bickle finds a spot, gets it to Saad, and then from here it's just a matter of time. Duncan Keith jumps into the play. Richards with the chance. The puck is laying there. Saad is there. Bickle's there. And the Blackhawks with a 1-0 lead, but it all started back in the defensive zone with their beautiful play from Brandon Saad to move the puck off the boards. Bickle finds the open ice. Saad follows up. He doesn't watch his pass. He gets his skates moving, and the Hawks with a 1-0 lead. Just a matter of who gets credit for it, whether it's Saad or Bickle.
Penalty coming up here. Raffle took a big run at Jalmerson, who's going to come into his neighborhood and have a little chat about that. It didn't appear to me that he stuck his leg out very far, but, I mean, there was no doubt of his intention. Raffle took a run at Jalmerson, and they went leg to leg.
Philadelphia penalty, number 12, 2 minutes for knee.
Now watch this puck get in behind Chris Mason. Michael Delzato there. There's Saad. And Saad beats the stick of Brian Bickle. And the penalty on Raffle.
This is a rarity for the Flyers, but here's Kane. Out to Taves. Sharp's one-timer. Missed it. And rebound off the end boards to Kane, and he tapped it home. A hot rebound from behind the net. Came right to the post. Kane there. The Blackhawks have scored 2 goals in about a half a minute. And it's 2-0.
Off the end boards, Patrick Kane has the patience to be able to grab that puck and put it in behind Steve Mason. Taves for Sharp, misses the net, and then a quick little shovel in behind Steve Mason. Easy goal for Patrick Kane. But you love the setup, interchange, and Kane and Taves get it back to Patrick Sharp. No hesitation. And the Flyers have called a timeout to try to slow this game down. The Hawks out shooting the Flyers 14-1. Now the Flyers have had some chances, Pat. We talked about it earlier. But they've missed the net. They've airmailed a couple of opportunities. But right now, Craig Berube's peeling the paint off that bench that his team is sitting on. But the Hawks finally able to capitalize in back-to-back chances. First one there by Saad, and then that one there on the power play. And you love the setup, too, by the Hawks and Patrick Kane on the receiving end.
Well, the first goal of this game was the first of the year for Brandon Saad. And 32 seconds later, Patrick Kane scores his second of the year on the Hawks power play. And they didn't have time to mention it really, but I'm not sure this is the last time you could say this. The Flyers are about one of the least penalized teams in the league. Here's a run to rebound. Came free in front. A goal might have been saved by Andrew Shaw. Now it came back to the line. Flyers keep it in. Here's a long shot. Schultz save. Runza nearly popped up a rebound, but covered in time to prevent any further action.
Boy, what a chance.
Jake Voracek pucks up in the air. Raanta finds it. And Claude Giroux comes in there, Pat, and tries to swing it, hit it while it's in midair, and ends up going up Johnny Oduya right to Michael Raffl, who took the penalty and right off the post. Boy, what a chance.
Shaw was close to that rebound opportunity. Looks like it got iron as well. So the Flyers very close after their timeout was used. Here comes Carcillo. His shot stopped by Mason. Rebound to Braden Shen. Cleared it ahead. And the rush broken up by a good stick from Roosevelt. Smith the other way. Dropped it. Kruger, weak backhander is gloved by Mason, who hangs on.
Time now for our Kia drive to the net. First goal of the game. Good play there from Brad Richards just to fire the puck to the net front present. Second chance opportunity. Third chance opportunity. First chance from Sharp. Second chance opportunity. Ends up in the back of the net. So far, so good for the Hawks. With getting more people to the front of the net and cashing in on a second chance or a third chance opportunity so far in this first period.
Exactly what Coach Q's been talking about in the last day or two, and he's done it several times over the last year or two with a very skilled team. If they're not producing offensively as well as they'd like, he usually starts talking about greasy goals, and a couple of examples right there. The Philadelphia Flyers coming into this game had averaged only 7 penalty minutes per night. That was the lowest in the league. The Hawks were second lowest, averaging only 8 minutes of penalties per night.
That's something they really wanted to try to improve on. That's come from new general manager and former Flyer Ron Hextall.
Chance for Bickle. He scored! Brian Bickle, a roof shot. Top corner of the net. The very top corner. A great shot. Completed by Bickle, and it's 3-0.
Pat, I'm not sure if Trevor Van Riemsdyk is going to get an assist or not, but watch the spacing he makes to allow this play to happen. He goes right there, busts through, the seam is open, Saad to Bickle, puck ends up in the back of the net. If Trevor Van Riemsdyk stays back, there's no lane there. There's no lane for the pass to be made. But the confidence to go ahead and jump into the play, to me, made the whole play. Beautiful pass, great shot. But TVR jumping in and opening up that seam made the whole play. And the coaches will certainly take notice of that play by the youngster.
Blackhawk goal is first of the season, scored by Bickle, assisted by Saad at the 14-minute mark.
Patrick Sharp's pass was off a skate. Chased down by Reed. He winds it around. That Reed got knocked down. Put it out in front, though. Here's McDonald. Good save by Runta. Rebound back to Schenn. Luke Schenn's long wrister missed the mark. Eldon McDonald in behind. Now here's a shot stopped by Runta. Rebound to the board, Taves. He was checked, couldn't advance it. Picked up now by Keith. He's got some room. Looks ahead to Taves. He'll drop it back. He thoughts of dumping that in. You can see him look into the zone to dump it. And he said, you know what? Keep possession. Drop it back. We'll make our change that way. It was put into Philadelphia ice eventually with Grossman back. Oduya put it back into Flyer ice. Grossman rolled it to the boards. Now McDonald. Backhand pass out of the reach of Giroux. Then he won the puck. Centered it. Oh, he just missed Raffl with a feed. There's Voracek back, and then through the front. Raffl, big save by Runta. Raffl was left all by himself, point blank. And Runta came out to meet the challenge.
Boy, 2 A+ chances for Michael Raffl. I think those are back-to-back shifts, Pat, if I'm not mistaken. They called a timeout. Raffl came in, hit the post, and now he gets this shift right back. And then the play from Voracek in behind the net, right to Michael Raffl. Runta down, some room upstairs. He's not able to elevate that puck. But a couple of quality chances for Raffl after he took that penalty on Nicholas Hjalmarsson. And the Hawks were able to get the second goal of the game.
They're going to try to reset the clock possibly. They'll call the official over to the penalty box to get that squared away. Well, this scenario, not unusual for the Philadelphia Flyers in the early stages of the season. I mean, their biggest problem has been keeping the puck out of their net. They've played 5 games, and in 4 of them, they've given up at least 3 goals. They came in tonight as a team at 364 goals against. That's the 3rd worst in the league in the first 2 weeks. So, and they've been outshot here 17-7 in the first 16 minutes of the game. Hawks on a pace for a 63 shot. Ryan Bickle with his first goal of the year. Look at this shot. Where Baba hides the cookies, top corner.
Comcast Sportsnet.
I know one viewer that will not be tuned into that broadcast. You just mentioned it there.
Maybe the beloved will watch that game and get fired up for this weekend's game after the Sunday game.
Be nice if their defense took out some of those tendencies, wouldn't it?
Well, you know, Hamp's in town and Mongo's in town, so maybe
Dent's here.
Yeah, right. I guess if they're looking for a little help. And good luck to the Bears on Sunday against the New England Patriots.
Here's Oduya's long shot. Didn't miss by much. Now Sharp's going to reach this puck first. Around for Taves. Checked along the board. Oshie trying to pry it loose, but instead the Flyers able to take over. It came loose in front of that. Here's Voracek right to the goal. Oh, it might have been Oduya saved the net with Runta down and out. A very dangerous Voracek has it again, weaving to the middle, shooting. Walker save, Runta. Rebound, Raffl. In behind Voracek.
Got to pick up their game right now. Flyers are a little momentum right now.
A good block out in front by Versteeg, sending Carcillo on his way. I said that was Versteeg, it was Smith. Carcillo for Smith. It just jumped over his blade. It's going to be held in by Keith with a good stay-at-home play. Keith for Kruger, and a save by Mason. Rebound Voracek. And he hoisted out of play. It was deflected, however, no penalty.
Boy, what a terrible play there from Andrew MacDonald to throw that puck into the middle of the ice. But a little bit earlier, Jake Voracek, somebody we talked about in the open, has an unbelievable chance. Watch the patience here. Out, 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 empty net, and then the quick stick of Johnny Oduya. Very well after that great play. A couple of tremendous plays by Johnny Oduya in this game. Coming off a strong game the other night against Nashville as well. But what a move there from Voracek. Remember that play for down the road, because the Flyers have kind of found their game here, Pat, a little bit after the timeout. We've had some quality chances here in the first.
Well, they try to dig it out of the corner. Four-man battle. The Hawks able to come up with the puck, though. Carcillo on his way. Looks for Saad. He's hit hard as the puck arrived. And now Schenn figures it back for Philly. They get it into the Hawk zone. Here's Couturier centering one. It came loose in front, right through the blue paint. And then bouncing around on the board, picked up by Seabrook. Minute and a half remaining in the opening period. Seabrook missed Saad, icing Chicago.
Well, tonight, one of the Blackhawks' biggest fans is courageously battling an illness, and we want him to know that we are thinking about him. Jay Berger. We know you were watching, Jay, and we want to let you know that we're thinking about you, and we want you to stay strong.
Now Giroux and Richards for the draw. Richards, who,
yeah, Richards.
by the way, on his
just got
first
a warning there too, Pat, on that. He was buying some time there with the linesman, and the linesman put up one finger there and wasn't going to be able to let him get out of that faceoff because of that icing call. And
we'll talk about that. That's one of the new rules this year. Teams used to do that regularly. If you ice the puck, they would put another guy, anybody, just to get thrown out of the faceoff on purpose, and just to buy a few more seconds. Now you can't do that. So they gave him a warning, and if you get two, that's a delay of game penalty.
Yeah, Richards was talking to the linesman there. He put his finger up, and he just said, you know what? Okay, here's what's going on, and watch the linesman. There, he puts up one finger, lets them know there's the warning. If you do it again, it's going to be a penalty, and you just want to get at that's that gamesmanship, trying to buy some time so you can get a little bit of a quick breather there after icing the puck if you had an extended shift.
Richards, who, by the way, picked up his first Blackhawk point on the first goal of the game tonight, scored by Saad. So for Brad Richards, now 868 career points. One here with the Hawks. Stickle out of the corner. Center one just came all the way through. Oduya shoots and a save by Mason with a blocker. Rebound of the Flyers, final minute of the first. Homerson for Bickle, who was checked at center. Both teams changing on the go. McDonald couldn't pick it up on the boards. Here's Kane. Dropped it to Keith. Seabrook. Moving around in behind, and now Shaw battles in the corner, and a penalty coming up here. Chris Versteeg doesn't look very happy, and Hawks are going to be short.
That's going to be a hold on Chris Versteeg right there. That free hand on Nicholas Grossman. Not a good penalty. 200 feet away from your net. End of the period. And an opportunity for the Flyers with only 6.3 seconds remaining.
Draw taken by the Hawks. The clearing attempt didn't get out. Simmons shot it, but he had run out of time. That would not have counted had it gone in. And Antti Raanta facing just 8 shots in the opening frame tonight. Will now make it 9. The Blackhawks had 19 shots on goal. And a very solid performance by the home side, but Philadelphia was a little bit better later in the first period, and they'll open up the second on a power play with fresh ice. They're down.
This period of Blackhawks hockey was brought to you by Chevy. Chevy drives Kane and Taves, and ChevyDriveChicago.com. Visit your Chevy dealer soon.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois has teamed up with the Blackhawks and moved 2 lucky fans closer to the action as part of tonight's Blue Seat Upgrade Experience. Look like twins there, partner. They look like the same glasses, same hat, same jersey. Well, don't forget to bring your Blue Cross Blue Shield card for your chance to win. Blue Cross through it all, and congratulations to tonight's winners. Well, yesterday, the Blackhawks and Make-A-Wish Foundation teamed up to give one special 12-year-old from Algonquin a day he will always remember, as will the Blackhawks. Gabriel Colon suffers from acute lymphoid leukemia. But all the treatments and sacrifices were put aside so he could spend a day with the one thing he truly loves, the Blackhawks. Gabriel hung out with the team in the locker room before practice and then took the ice with Patrick Kane, his favorite player. Gabriel received some drill instructions from Andrew Shaw, among others. What a special day for that young 12-year-old.
And you know what, Eddie? It's so cool about, how welcoming the Blackhawks are when they get scenarios like this presented to them. And that was the first chance yesterday for 23-year-old Trevor Van Riemsdyk to experience something like that. We asked him about it this morning, and I mean, his grin was ear to ear. I mean, he was as excited as the young guy was, just to meet him and be around him and put a smile on his face. I mean, it's so a lot of things are new for TVR in the last couple of weeks, but he's already found out how special this organization is and how many extra and good things that they do. All right, underway now in the second period. Remember, the Flyers on a power play for almost a full 2 because of the late penalty to Versteeg.
And the second period is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Voracek. Little stop-and-go move, walks his way in behind, turned it over to Hjalmarsson. Backhand pass, Smith had it, lost it, got lucky to get it out. And the Hawks change him up as Streit leads the Flyers back. Now they dump it in. Hjalmarsson pressured by Schenn. It's taken by Voracek. He turned it right back to Hjalmarsson. Clearing. The Phillies power play has been great. 7 out of 22 to start the year. Their first minute here hasn't been very good, but let's see what they can do with the second available minute. Cleared into the corner, and Couturier dropped it back. McDonald put it across. Here's a long shot. The redirector, that actually hit Oduya and went up off the netting.
Boy, a terrific 21-plus minutes in this game for Johnny Oduya. A couple of good defensive plays, shot block, jumping in, creating some offensive opportunities.
Face off to the Flyers. Del Zotto rolled it over to the other side. Del Zotto across McDonald. Del Zotto takes a look. Now the give and go, and McDonald with a long shot. Runta had a good look at that one. There to the boards, Couturier. He's sandwiched along the wall. Hjalmarsson joined in. Hey! Cleared it down all the way. And now the whistle is gone. I think it hit maybe one of the Flyer players on the bench. And so the whistle sound stops the action.
Pat, from our Xfinity Telestrator, watch the pressure here by the Blackhawks reacting to this puck being along the boards. Puck is along the boards. That's when you pressure. All 4 players have to pressure. Smith's there, Keith's there, Hjalmarsson's there, and the Hawks end up clearing the zone. If one guy pressures and the other 3 stand still, the puck's going to end up in the back of your net. Real good recognition to start the pressure, and usually that's off a shot, a puck around the boards, and everybody's got to do it. Beautiful play there by the Hawks.
Saad bangs it loose. Giroux dumped it back in. The Hawks penalty over. Both teams full strength. Tough shot, save, Runta, and he's able to cover. Voracek trying to muscle it through the leg pad of Antti Raanta, who held him off.
Well, smart play here from Claude Giroux just to dump this puck in. Jake Voracek wins the foot race, goes backhand, forehand, and the right pad of Antti Raanta denies. Boy, if Voracek can open up that blade just a little bit, that's what causes elevation as he comes in there. Quick bang, bang play, but the strength of Raanta keeps that puck from crossing the goal line.
Grossman kept it in. His shot handled by Raanta. Good save with no rebound and lots of traffic in his kitchen with Simmons right in his wheelhouse.
Pat, I want to go back to the goal by Brian Bickell, and we talked about Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Watch what he does here. He opens up space. He opens up the space here, and then the Hawks are able to make this pass, right? If Van Riemsdyk stays right there, there's no lane. So when he skates through there, that opens up the lane, and Bickell's able to get that shot and put that puck past Steve Mason. Just a real heads-up play, and I thought that Brian Bickell was very complimentary with Luke Stuckmeyer in that first period interview of just talking about TVR and just how he's handling himself. Looks like this isn't his first year. He's been around a while, and I think that certainly helps with his brother JVR, James Van Riemsdyk, former Flyer, and now with the Toronto Maple Leafs, of having that in his family. And it's been seamless to this point, but that was just a real smart play by Van Riemsdyk on the goal by Brian Bickell.
Luke Schenn bounced it out to center. Here's the fly. Rush, a long shot goes up off the glass from Jones. Now another shot gloved by Raanta. He stopped Vanderweld there.
Well, break away from the pack by completing your degree. In partnership with the Blackhawks, University of Phoenix is offering the chance to receive one of 2 full tuition University of Phoenix scholarships to Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin residents. Visit phoenix.edu Blackhawks to apply today.
A loose puck to Ben Smith, able to clear it over to the boards. Carcillo shot it out. Then he dumped it in. And Mason will take a whistle. And Danny Carcillo spent 2.5 years as a member of the Philadelphia Flyers. And in 2.5 seasons had 414 penalty minutes to go along with 16 goals. So, those days in a white, orange, and black Flyer uniform probably his most, well, productive is the word, but he's the most ornery, maybe.
Got off to a real good start in this season. Yeah. Could easily have 2 goals without question. Only got the 1. Had a great chance against the Calgary Flames where he just healed a great opportunity. Off to a good start, and there's always that something for a look out. Linesman was in the penalty box there, putting a broken stick of Brent Seabrook there, and next thing you know, the Hawks were rushing up, and that was almost a dangerous play.
Oh, yeah, there's contact there. There could be a big problem with an open door. Meanwhile, the Hawks keep the play alive. Here's a wrist shot by Richards, kicked away. And the Flyers start away. Reed dumped it in. Back goes Hjalmarsson. And now Saad with some skating room. Versteeg carried on. Every shot into the glove of Mason. Holding.
Don't see this very often, folks, from our Xfinity telestrator. The linesman had just put the stick of Brent Seabrook in, and here comes Brandon Saad. The door is still open. I mean, the linesman had just popped out of there. Unfortunately, good work by the off-ice crew there to slam that door and make sure that no player was going to be put in harm's way. Great look by our terrific crew here at the United Center.
I didn't see who that was that got the door shut. It was probably Johnny Tropina, the legendary Blackhawks minor official. Here's a bouncing puck. It's gloved by Shaw to Kane.
Literally, he lost his glove.
Yeah. Now Voracek and near steal. Chalmers been able to clear it away from him. Back of the goal, Voracek threw it over to the other side. Raffl. His pass bounced up over the glass, out of play.
Well, things are going to get busy. Our AT&T U-verse upcoming schedule. The next 1, 2, 3 games. The Hawks will travel to Nashville on their charter tomorrow. And take on the Predators Thursday and head to St. Louis to take on the Blues on Channel 9. And then come back here for one of those great 6 o'clock starts on Sunday night against the Ottawa Senators.
Now Wayne Simmons. That is stripped away. Nice stick, Van Riemsdyk. Picked up by Roosevelt. Nice play to Taves. He banks it ahead for Hossa. Sending it deep. Luke Chen up the middle, and now here come the Flyers. Simmons for Delzato. He missed it. And Luke Chen backhands it to center ice. And the Flyers go offside with Chen ahead of the play.
Well, this Thursday, hang with CSN at the Coors Light viewing party. Join us at State Restaurant to win prizes. Enjoy Coors Light and watch the Hawks take on Nashville. Be there Thursday, October 23rd.
We'll have to get a few crowd shots that night from our great CSN crew to see if the Predators succeed in their goal of keeping the red out. They mentioned this the other night when Nashville was here that they've done a couple of things trying to limit the red, white, black in the crowd. The Hawks travel so well, and that has become a real fun destination for Hawks fans to go to. It's always a real good turnout in Nashville when Chicago plays there. Now we're going to have a penalty against the Flyers. There's some scuffling behind the net.
Yeah, Ronaldo and Carcillo, and high fives all around for Danny Carcillo not to
36 Philadelphia, 2 minutes roughing.
get into it with Zach Ronaldo. Left part of your screen, the hit. Ronaldo comes in and a late hit. I mean, the puck wasn't even close, and Danny Carcillo realizes there's no reason to get engaged when you're up 3-0 in the game.
Here's a one-timer. Sharp hit traffic to Taves. Mason, point blank save, rebound. Oh, and it's deflected off the leg up high. Sharp tried. That went off the mark. After deflecting, taken by Sharp.
Mason lost his gloves there, Pat, and he dropped his stick to put his glove back on.
Here's a long shot by Sharp, just barely missing. All the paraphernalia back in place, though, for the goalie Mason. Here's a one-timer by Keith up off the glass. And finally, the Flyers get the puck.
As our great friend Denny Savard would say, that shot from Duncan Keith was an Ed under. That one was high and a little outside there from Dunk. I think that puck just might have rolled on him at the last second.
Now Sharp across to Keith. Ties a long shot, blocked out in front, McDonald. Held in, though, to Kane. Now Taves to Kane, back to Sharp, the one-timer. And it went up high. And the Flyers able to clear with 40 for the power play. Oh! Now Seabrook will organize the second power play grouping.
A couple of good looks on that first power play unit.
Saad gets into the zone. Pass bounce up high, then eventually into the Chicago bench.
Well, first off, you win the faceoff, and that really sets the tone. Shot by Sharp, chance for Jonathan Toews. Good save there from Steve Mason, and then it's just bedlam. Shaw's there. Gets knocked down by Nicholas Grossman. Again, upstairs, Pat, anytime the Hawks can get a second chance opportunity on Steve Mason, you got to throw those hands up towards the crossbar because he's down. Big guy, even though when he's down, he takes up a lot of room, but there's room up around the crossbar.
Off the end boards, he wanted to field it, could not, but Mason, and that help from his friends to get it out. The Hawks power play over now, both teams at full strength. Steal by Belmar along the board. Dropped it back. Here's a long shot attempt by Schenn up off the glass. Richard. Oduya's bank pass Saad, able to send it back the other way. And this is going to be ice in Chicago.
Well, the Blackhawks have released Blackhawks Divvy bikes through the end of October. Finding these bikes and posting photos to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or Tumblr with the hashtag BlackhawksBike gives you the chance to win Blackhawks and Divvy prizes. For more info, visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com.
Marian Hossa battles his way into the zone. Saad takes a look. Wanted Hossa, but the pass went off a skate. Now Hjalmarsson. Put it into Flyer ice. Was short of center when he did, though, icing Chicago.
The Flyers got a quick turnaround, Pat. They'll head to Pittsburgh to take on their arch rivals tomorrow night. They'll face a very similar type of team that has lots of offense. Their power play right now, Pittsburgh's power play is like clicking at about 40+%.
These guys are over 30, so don't take any penalties tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Here's Simmons getting the line. He'll drop it back. Delzado's long shot never got through.
Got to get that next goal here, Pat. You're letting the Flyers hang around a little bit. Talked about their strong finish in the first. Haven't had much going here in the second. I want to give them any confidence because they have a team that can score and generate.
Braden Schenn kicked it loose. Hawks have the goal mouth covered beautifully, and Versteeg coming out. Smith for Versteeg, checked right away. And it's cleared back to center. Jones got to turn around. Now the Hawks, Smith. And it's dumped in.
The third or fourth time in this game where Mason has come out, Pat, when the Hawks have shot the puck in the glass. He's come out to try to play it, and the puck is just bouncing around, and then take advantage of that.
Chance for Hossa, and a save. Mason able to cover it up. We're halfway through period 2. 3 love for the home team.
Great partner mentioned a little bit earlier, a couple of former Philadelphia Flyers, but it doesn't stop there for the Blackhawk organization. A little bit of did you know? Back in 1991, the Hartford Whalers traded Blackhawks assistant coach Kevin Dineen to the Philadelphia Flyers for a 4th-round draft pick. It was there that Kevin would play for his father, Bill, who was the Flyers coach until 1993. Bill won 2 Stanley Cups as a player for Detroit and briefly played for the Blackhawks during the 1957-58 season. And there's a good look at Blackhawk assistant coach Kevin Dineen.
Here's Shaw in behind. Feet taken from under him, and a 4-man corner battle. Game loose to Kane. Dropped it back. Keith, a good keep. Now Shaw. Kane trying to drive the net, turns behind. Seabrook, a long wrister into the glove of Mason, holding. Steve Mason last year started the season 3-7-1 at a very poor start. In fact, the start was so poor that they fired their coach, Peter Laviolette, 3 games into the year. Craig Berube, that's when he took over. But after starting 3-7-4 last year, he then went 30-11-6. So a great finish to the season. He was really good in the first round of the playoffs. He gave up less than 2 goals a game in a 7-game loss to the New York Rangers. He couldn't play that whole series, but he gave up less than 2 a game in that series and at a save percentage of 94. So he was, real good at the tail end of the season for Berube and the Flyers.
Yeah, former Rookie of the Year in the National Hockey League when he was a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Hawks have always seemed to have his number, Pat. Anytime
look at that.
I mean, the numbers-wise and just lighting him up. Remember a situation with him, and I believe it was Scotty Arniel, and then the head coach of the...
Todd Richards.
Oh, was it Richards? Okay.
I remember that because I really admired the way Richards handled that. They were in Columbus together, and Mason wasn't playing very well most of the year, and the Hawks went in there, and as Eddie referenced it, lit him up again, and he got yanked in the middle of the game, and I thought put on quite a show going to the bench, and I admire the fact that his coach didn't react to that. Many would have, because I would term it embarrassing. All right, now they pick it up at center. Tage. And a jam loose. McDonald. Around to Streit. Mark Streit into the Hawk zone. Hayes took it away to Hossa. Now Voracek. Pick off out of midair by Oduya. Taken by Hjalmarsson. Hjalmarsson rolled it back the other way. Luke Schenn. Clears it ahead as younger brother Braden. Unable to get this out. Finds Luke again. He put it to Simmons. Good contact, though, from Bickle on Luke Schenn as he made that pass. Back comes Bickle into the zone. Delzato got a good piece of him in behind. Kane loose in front. A whack by Richards went wide. And the Flyers get it out of there. Here's Brad Richards. Ryan Bickle for Saad. Didn't get a lot on the attempt as the pass initially was at his feet. Now Saad looks in front. It bounced away from Richards. And in the corner they battle. Finally, Jones jammed it loose. It's in behind, picked up by Carcillo.
There's some tired players on the ice right now for the Flyers. If the Hawks can get some fresh players on it, as Richards had a long shift here.
Yeah, everybody has changed with him. So the Hawks' third line followed up by the fourth line, and the puck never left the Philadelphia end of the ice.
Yeah, Schultz and Grossman right now are a little winded. Offside.
Oh, and that's an offside play. With 6.5 to go in the second.
Time now for our Hyundai. What to look for? Carolina Hurricanes still without a win. They're down 3-1 in Winnipeg. The Ducks, after a season opening loss, they've won 5 straight, playing terrific hockey. And the LA Kings, after a tough start, have won 4 in a row, but they got some bigger issues off the ice. Slava Voyanov suspended indefinitely by the National Hockey League from all club activities due to a arrest on domestic violence. And we'll see what happens with that situation with Slava Voyanov moving forward.
Keith, a good Keith tees it up. Fires Mason to save through a Shaw screen. Great work by Keith to work himself into open ice, and Shaw with a screen in front.
Yeah, that's just a terrific job there by Duncan Keith. That's quick little footwork there. And all you young hockey players out there, and some of you elder skatesmen as well, the ability to be able to change the angle, open up the lane, head up, know what you're going to do with the puck before it comes to you, and then be able to change in mid-stride and always be ready to move that puck or do something with it in case the option may change. Just a terrific job here from Duncan Keith, and makes it look so easy, so effortless. He's a terrific skater that Duncan Keith is.
Sharp for Hossa, who was well covered that time. The Flyers, Giroux had his pass deflect. Flyers get it in, though. Raffl has Giroux to the net, centered it. He didn't get anything on the shot. Good post-to-post move by Ranta. But Giroux, you would have thought, was going to get a better chance. And here comes Hossa on the counterattack to Taves. The drag move, and he couldn't get rid of a backhander. And the Flyers on the counterattack. They get it into the Hog zone. Giroux dropped it. Now a chance. Delzato, a tip. Big save by Ranta. What a redirect by Giroux, and Ranta's beaten him twice on this shift.
Boy, what a shift there for Michael Delzato. He stopped Taves, and he made the pass for Claude Giroux. That one on his forehand. The first one was on his backhand. Terrific goaltending there from Antti Ranta.
Well, the puck cleared back to the Hawks zone. 5 minutes remaining in the second. Hawks with 3 first-period goals, all in a span of just over 2 minutes, 2:06. Here comes Kane. A nice move around to check into the middle. Couldn't get rid of it, though, and puck is cleared back to center ice. Hawks get it in. Grossman battling with Shaw. Clear it around Delzato. Backhands it to center. Gross the ball. Shaw dumped it. And it's offside anyway. 4.5 remain in period 2. The Hawks up 3.
Time now for our GMC professional grade saves, and Antti Ranta denies. Claude Giroux not once but twice. Right part of your screen. On the backhand. Second one, beautiful pass here from Michael Delzato, and a beautiful left pad save there from Ranta. And Ranta looking up at the Jumbotron right now, partner, after making that terrific save.
Well, they're just showing the plays that you just showed us, and I bet he's thinking, yeah, it looked pretty good right there. Here's a steal by Richards, getting it in. Bickle. Taken away by Streit, then it's centered to Bickle. Just escaped him, though. Saad gets it back. Now Richards in deep. Spins it back to Keith. Long wrist shot. Blocked now, came in front. And McDonald had lost his stick, but the backhand attempt from Saad off the mark. Here's Richards back in. Pass was tipped.
Tough to make that play stand and still when you got people coming at you. Look out.
Nice move here by the Flyers to get in, and a save made by Ranta. Rebound cleared the other way.
It almost seemed like Matt Reed was in between there, Pat. He was the one that got the pass from R.J. Umberg. It looked like he wanted to pass the puck back and just shoveled the puck in. It was an easy save.
Here's a chance for the Hawks, and a save made. As it taken by Richards back to Chalmers, and his wrister. Oh, the tip by Smith didn't miss by a lot. And the Flyers put it back into Chicago ice. Garcillo, oh boy, the recipient of a arm or shoulder up high, going to be a Flyer penalty. And the Hawks back to the power play.
That's going to be on Michael Raffl. Right there to follow through. Not a good penalty again by Raffl. Here's that play from Umberger. Pass is going over. There's Matt Reed. He settles it down, gets it up, and just shovels it up towards Antti Raanta. Now, in fairness to Reed and seeing that replay, yes, the puck was on edge. Probably felt he was getting in a little bit too tight and just had to do something and try to go upstairs. Because you see, I'm sure Reed went to school, Pat. The last two chances that Giroux had were both low, Raanta down, so he tried to go upstairs. Puck on edge. Another good stop. Nice play there from Umberger.
Over 12, Michael Raffl. 2 minutes were roughly at 17-13.
Keith up the boards, Kane. On the Hawks power play, goes down low. Shaw, his pass smothered by Grossman. Kane for Taves, quick shot, save, Mason, rebound. Shaw took a whack, couldn't get it through, and Mason managed to cover.
This power play is really moving it around nicely. Couple of different looks. The key winning a faceoff. And you know Andrew Shaw is going to be standing right in front of the net.
Flyers get this draw, but they're unable to get it out. Taves along Rister's block. Well, the Hawks will have to chase back. Taves gets the line. Wanted Kane. Couldn't get it through to him, and McDonald able to clear. 70 for the Hawks power play. Patrick Sharp moving slowly up the ice with a dump in. Funny hop off a partition again. Mason trying to play it and succeeds in getting it out. Couturier had a problem with Saad. And Saad coming racing back in there. Saad goes wide. Dropped it out to Seabrook. Again to Saad. For Hossa, quick shot, save, Mason. Rebound to the Hawks. Here's Seabrook. To Richards, a drive. That just gets rebound. Oh, just jumped away from Saad and Hossa. Another hot bounce from the end boards. The first power play goal the Hawks scored tonight, a result of a similar play at the other end. This one they couldn't put a fork in.
The puck really jumped off the stick of Brad Richards there. That shot from the point.
He tries another one. Mason with the left pad. Final minute now of period 2. Saad, pass went out of the zone. That's going to finish the Philly penalty. And both teams at full strength. Versteeg rolled it loose. Here comes Marcus Kruger, left it for Versteeg. Spins to his forehand, got away from one man, cuts in, stick handling, couldn't get rid of a shot. He centered one, Smith, a shot, good save by Mason. All set up with some neat work from Chris Versteeg. And eventually, Ben Smith able to get it on target. Flyers get back in, Voracek, put it across Giroux, save made by Raanta. And that will finish period 2.
Another great chance there for Claude Giroux at the end of the period. Antti Raanta denies with the shoulder here. Not knowing where that puck was. And a couple of nice slick moves there from Chris Versteeg. Ben Smith in front of the net looking for a shot on goal with Marcus Kruger right to the right side of Steve Mason, who is down, trying to take away the bottom of the net.
Well, the Hawks had the only 2 power plays of the second period. Well, the Flyers outshoot them 10-8 in period 2, and so far in the game it's 27 Chicago shots, 19 Philadelphia shots. All the scoring came in the first. Antti Raanta with some good work, particularly in the second, to keep the Flyers scoreless.
Blackhawks hockey on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world.
Welcome back to downtown Chicago, 1901 West Madison. The Blackhawks take a 3-goal lead into period 3. Before that happens, we get a chance to talk to assistant coach Kevin Dineen. He's brought to us by Pace Madison Stadium Express. First time tonight you guys, as a coaching staff, have had your entire skating crew available. And I know you've been looking for something to get going from that third line, being able to put Saad with Richards and Bickle. I mean, you got to be thrilled with what you've seen so far.
Yeah, they're hopping all over the ice there tonight. Obviously, Sauter's a guy that is a heartbeat player for this team, and boy, his speed just creates a lot of things. He put Richards' creativity out there and a big body, and Bickle kind of got the ingredients to make a pretty good line, and they're showing that tonight.
Hey, Kev, a couple of big saves by your goaltender late in that second period. Just talk about the momentum and the feel on the bench there when he makes a couple of three stops actually on Claude Giroux.
He sure did, and a dangerous team here, you know, but not an easy job to be sitting waiting for your turn in the pipes over the last 3 weeks here, and he's been a real professional. He's worked hard in practice. He goes out, he faces all comers, whatever shots we need, and most importantly, he's ready when he gets tapped on the shoulder. A little bit of surprise to have him in net here tonight, and he stood up to the test.
Well, and you've been around him only for a little bit, but an easy guy to root for, right? He's a happy human.
Yeah. He's not one of those guys you have to worry about on game day. Give him his space. He's always got that big smile on his face. Nice quality to have.
All right, appreciate a couple minutes. Good luck here in the third.
Thanks, Petty.
Thanks, Kev. The third period is brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers.
And now this is going to be icing Philly. Just underway here in the third frame. You got to love what... I'm happy you brought up Antti Raanta to Kevin Dineen. I mean, he didn't expect to play until getting sort of late word that Corey wasn't feeling well, and didn't think he was going to play till this weekend, but gets a chance tonight, and he's just been stellar. And you know, in a role like that, not easy to, you know, maintain your focus throughout, but he showed us last year he can do it. He will do it. Here's a chance for Sharp. And a save, Mason, who thinks he has it. The whistle did go.
Beautiful reception here from Patrick Sharp off the nice little play there from Jonathan Toews. No hesitation at all by Sharpie. I think what happened, Pat, the last second, this puck goes on edge at the last second. Watch what happens. Right there, yeah, it just rolls on Patrick Sharp enough to not allow him to get a lot of leverage on this shot. Yeah, right at the last second, you see it, and it just kind of enter. Made an easy save there for Steve Mason. You love how Patrick Sharp was able to receive it and had one thing on his mind, is take the puck right to the net and create a chance. You're going to need ice bags after the game for those arms for Patrick Sharp, because every time the puck comes to him in the offensive zone, no hesitation at all. He's just going to be firing the puck at the net.
Oh, Couturier. A wrist shot kicked away. Raanta. Rebound to the Flyers. Reed out of the corner. Now it came back to Couturier. Tried to pass it to Umberger. He threw it in front. Nobody home for Philadelphia. And now Couturier dropped it back. Umberger wasn't ready for the pass. They'll need to reorganize. Michael Del Zotto is on his third team in the last 8 months. And he tried to get it in. It didn't work out. Shen dumped it. Bounced away from Bickle. Flyers able to keep it in. And the puck finally squirts free to Brandon Saad. Gains the line. Richards to the net. The pass intended for him, deflected instead. Richards came up with it, though. Here's a backhander down low. Mason. Rebound to Philadelphia. And Bickle delivers a big blow to Brayden Schenn as he cleared the puck. Schenn a little slow to get up. Now gets off for a change. Bickle got all of them with that jolt, and now jumped back into Flyer ice. Kane loose in front. That penalty coming up is some big contact in the corner. Carcillo was going to maybe get after it. A couple of others join into the get into the area.
Yeah, Ronaldo and Carcillo going at it right now. Yeah, Blair Jones with the hit on Ben Smith. Well, a couple of big hits here in the last, 30 seconds or so. Our BMO Harris Bank check replay. Brian Bickle on Brayden Schenn. And then shortly after that, Blair Jones takes a run at Ben Smith and a charging call. I'd imagine that the face-off would come outside the zone because everybody came in unless the puck was already outside the zone.
No, they're keeping it inside, okay. So Hawks power play that is 1 out of 3 so far tonight. Generated 4 shots. Here's the draw. Keith, a long blast. Mason able to soak that one up. Right now the draw. Nobody can find the handle yet. Finally around to Sharp. Here's Kane. Out of center. That didn't connect. Duncan Keith, who on Saturday played 25 minutes. That's his low minute mark for the season. Taves gets in deep. Dropped it back to Sharp. He finds Taves. Now Kane takes over. Works a give and go. The shot, seemed to be blocked on its way to the net.
The hit might hit Shaw in front.
Here's Taves. His wrists are blocked. Picked up by Kane.
Luke Schenn in front of net's having a problem with one of his ankle guards.
Yeah, he took that initial shot. Here's a long one by Sharp. That hit somebody too. Keith, and the save, base rebound, loose, they score! At the side of the goal, Patrick Kane. Just a foot or two from where he scored his first power play tally. Now he has another. It's 4-love.
Yeah, there's that skate of Luke Schenn, a defenseman, that prevented him really from moving around. So they only had 3 players on the ice that could really move around, and it was just a matter of time. There's a shot blocked by Schenn. He goes down. The rebound's there, and then Patrick Kane, sitting in the weeds, puts the puck into the wide open net. Same spot he scored his goal in from earlier on the power play, right off to the left of his former teammate, Steve Mason. The power play looking good in this game so far against the Flyers.
Well, the power play had been 1 of the last 12. And 2 conversions tonight in 4 chances. Keith and Sharp will get the helpers.
His third of the season, scored by Kane, assisted by Keith and Sharp.
And now Richards up the ice. Bickle steps in. centered it. Oh, Saad didn't get a lot on the shot. They had Mason moving the wrong way. Now Saad had it stripped away. His stick broke as well.
Straight chopped it right in half.
Usually a penalty, but went uncalled. And Riemsdyk hangs on as both teams change on the move. Smith got checked at the blue line. Back come the Flyers. Giroux trying to lower his shoulder, but could not get away from Kruger. Now a loose puck for Carcillo. He cuts in there. Around the check shooting. Oh, his backhander just missed. Now Kruger gets in. Marcus Kruger for Jalmerson. His shot. Hit traffic in front. Jalmerson gets it back. Centered. It was picked off before reaching Kruger. Versteeg dumps it into the Philadelphia zone.
Ronaldo just took a run at Versteeg after he made that pass. Keep an eye on 36 White.
Well, and really a couple of the Flyers here in the third period seem to have just one thing on their mind as Runta gloves and long, easy wrister.
Go back to the goal for Patrick Kane from our WeatherTech RoboCam. A shot, net front presence. And Kane puts it into the wide open net.
Two goals in the game for Kane. A goal and an assist for Bickle. A goal and an assist for Saad. 2 assists for Sharp. Luke Shen, checked by Rosabal. Delzato has to chase back. Flyers dump it. Jones to the corner, put it around the board. Picked up by Kane. Now Shaw gets into the Flyer end. Rosabal joined him, a backhand shot. Mason made the save, looking to cover, and now does. With 13:32 to go into third period. 4-0. Welcome back to the UC. 13:32 to go into third, which reminds me of birthday shout-out is in order for a great Hawks fan, Ann Rayland, who's actually at the game tonight, celebrating your 33rd birthday. So happy birthday to her. She came in all the way in from Iowa to be at the game. And also an anniversary shout out to some good friends of mine. John Weaver and his lovely wife, Jeannie. John is a manager down at Hawk Ford, a great guy, big Hawks fan. He's tatted up to prove it. But they're watching the game tonight, celebrating their 23rd wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary to them. All right, here's the draw. And it's cleared back into the Chicago end. Schultz chasing. Knocking away from Taves. Sharp. Lost control on the boards, and it's cleared to center. Keith there. Good pass. Finds Sharp. Patrick Sharp with a wrist shot into the glove of Mason.
Well, Advocate Healthcare wants to help you stay ahead of the game. Schedule a same-day mammogram with next-day results by calling 1-800-3-ADVOCATE. Also a birthday shout-out to Tom Bozek of Buffalo Grove. The father of U.S. women Olympian and Chicago native Megan Bozek. So happy birthday to Tom. One of the finer amateur officials we have in our state. Still refereeing for the last 40-some years for Tom.
Raffle dropped it back. Got it in behind the net. Voracek there. Sends it back. Right to McDonald. He put it across, long shot. Good save, Raanta. It's loose. Cleared in behind the net. Bennett missed Voracek. Taken by Streit. McDonald centered it. Here's a blast. Fought off Raanta. And then he made a second save. On a whack by Raffl. It came back to the line. Giroux put it to the feet of McDonald. Then Claude Giroux tried to snap one off. That's blocked. And the Hawks able to clear their end. Giroux put it down into Chicago territory. Richards a long pass. Bickle couldn't hold on cleanly, or might have been gone. Leaves for Saad. Dropped it back. Roosevelt tries a long one. Kicked away Mason. Good keep by Richards. Centered it just out of the reach of Brian Bickle. Or that was Saad rather driving up the middle. Bickle in the area also. Now it's taken by Van Riemsdyk. His Brister hit traffic in front. Back to Roosevelt. Saad kicks to the stick. And a pass broken up. And stolen right back by Richards. Looking for Bickle into the zone. Shooting. Kick save by Mason. Rebound to the Flyers, and they clear it ahead. Simmons didn't have any help. Everybody was changing.
Yeah, you're not going to have much energy after all you do is defend for a good 55 seconds in your own zone.
Patrick Kane up to 498 points now with 2 goals tonight. Kane dropped it to Seabrook. Fires a long shot. Mason stopped it. Rebound loose. Versteeg couldn't advance it. And now the Flyers the other way. Bouncing puck will be handled by Raanta, who decides to play it to Keith. McDonald clearing it into Chicago territory. Hayes. Banks into Hossa. Hayes then carried out. Got away from one man. Drives in. Shooting. Good save by Mason. Rebound into the corner. Sharp. Battling there.
Looked like he took a stick.
We're halfway through the third. With a comfortable-looking 4-0 advantage. Their next shot for the Blackhawks will be number 40. Now Roosevelt. Up the boards, Carcillo. Lozano got it back. Flyers get in. A long shot into the glove of Raanta, who handles it easily with 9 minutes remaining. It's 4-0 Chicago. Two goals for Patrick Kane on the Blackhawks power play. A grouping that had some struggles here in the last couple of games, but 2 out of 4 tonight. Flyers, top gun Claude Giroux. Run over by Brandon Saad and center, but it's carried on Delzato. Drop, there's a shot and a save on Raffl by Raanta. Richards failed to get it out. Second chance didn't get out either. Here's a shot blocked. Bouncing puck penalty. Chicago coming. And now the whistle.
Maybe a hold coming up here on Nicholas Hjalmarsson.
Chicago penalty, number 4, 2 minutes for holding.
And Hjalmarsson on his way to the penalty box. Sticking that free hand out, not allowing the Flyer attacker to get to the front of the net.
Well, the Flyers with the power play chance, just their second of the game. Delzato to Couturier, a one-timer. His own man out in front of the net.
Hit Umberger.
You've been waiting to say that for a while, haven't you? Now, Delzato just to the other side. McDonald got turned around, but it's Couturier now. Here's McDonald with a blast. Good block by Seabrook out in front. Reed takes over. But a pass broken up by Kruger clearing.
Good recognition there for Marcus Kruger. After the shot block by Seabrook, pressure opportunity with the puck along the boards. Clear it down all the way.
Giroux's going to ring it around. Ken poked it in behind. Giroux tries this side. And Voracek gets help. Here's a long shot straight. That missed the target. Giroux fumbled it, lost it. And now able to clear it in behind where Simmons got turned around. And Keith missed connecting with Saad on a pass attempt, so now Voracek. His shot is off the mark. Giroux again, centered it, Schenn, put it to Voracek. What a save by Runta! And Antti Runta remains perfect. As the Flyers get back in. It's taken by Streit. Here's the shot. Tip! That tipped right on it. A save. Maybe Seabrook dug it out of the crease. The save by Runta, helped by Seabrook. Here's Hjalmarsson out of the box to Kruger. And Mason made the save. Wasn't sure he had it. Oh, spectacular goaltending at either end of the ice. And now they're rising to their feet at the UC to salute Runta.
Antti Raanta with a couple of terrific saves. The best one against Jake Voracek on that power play. And then at the end of that power play, Brent Seabrook takes the puck from off the goal line. Hjalmarsson comes out of the box, little give and go. And Mason with a good stop.
Both teams are at full strength now. Taken by Van Riemsdyk. Tries a long one. That's off the stick, then the glass. Bickle knocked away from Richards, and Grossman cleared it to center. Vandeveld chasing in, couldn't get there, and Bickle has to make sure to get this one out. Jones lost it as he crossed the line. And it's cleared back to center. Now that's a hand pass by the Flyers in the neutral area with 5 minutes remaining in regulation. 4-0 Blackhawks. Welcome back to the UC as Brent Seabrook helps out his goalie. A redirected shot that Raanta got a lot of, and it was trickled by him, and just inches from the line, Seabrook made sure it didn't cross. So the Flyers Flyers remain scoreless tonight. And you see the numbers for Brent Seabrook, who almost every game in the categories of hits and blocks, he's up there among the Hawks leaders, if not leading the entire pack on a almost nightly basis. You know, until the night Eddie, the Blackhawks started the year with 4 games in the first 12 days. But starting tonight, in the next 13 days, they play 8 times. So, you know, guys were a bit frustrated with so many practices, and, you know, they get tired of seeing each other. They want to go play some games. And wait, now 2 weeks from now, they're going to all be saying, oh, man, what a schedule. This is, but, you know, you got to play them when they're set up for you, and you can't always have things perfectly arranged. But, and I mention that because, you know, a guy like Duncan Keith, I mean, on Saturday, he played 25 minutes. That's his low for the season. You wonder how the ice time's going to be distributed as we move along here the next 2 weeks. I mean, Coach Q and Mike Kitchen, who runs the defense corps, they're going to have to be paying very close attention to spreading the load, because you got, 8 games in 13 days would be quite a challenge.
Yeah, and you got some big, heavy teams that are going to be on the schedule here very shortly. Going to be in St. Louis, and they're going to have Anaheim in here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are taxing games as we've seen in the past. And I mean, the one thing that I think that separates, I mean, there's a lot of things that separate Joe Quenneville from a lot of coaches in all sports. But being able to manage the individuals, manage the minutes in games, but then also manage ice time and rest. And he has that great feel, Pat. I mean, we talk a lot about it, right? He just has that feel, regardless, winning, losing, struggling, whatever it is. He understands that rest becomes as important as anything else. Now, it's a lot easier to not practice when you've won 6 of 7 or 7 of 8 or whatever the number is. But he just has a great job. He has a great understanding of managing the schedule, and that just isn't the schedule that happens to be tonight and then Thursday in Nashville. I'm talking about everything else that goes into it. That's what separates him from the majority of the coaches in all of sports.
I mean, to that point, I mean, is there another guy, certainly behind an NHL bench, who has a better reading of the pulse of his team? I mean, that's really what you're talking about. Do we need a day off here?
Yeah,
you know, how's the travel schedule?
Exactly.
You know, is there a flu bug going? I mean, all those kinds of things that become factors through an 82-game schedule.
Yeah, and again, it's, you know, when you're winning a lot of games, it's easy.
Smith gets right around to check. He's in. And a save by Mason.
Oh, he
went around Shen like he was standing still.
Yeah. Great speed to the outside. That is the Achilles heel of the Philadelphia Flyers, is their lack of really foot speed overall. Nice play there from Giroux on their back end, and great play from Carcillo to Smith to create that chance.
Vanderbilt in for Jones. His shot deflected up high.
Yeah, I think, you know, just finishing up that with Joe Quenneville. You know, it's winning and losing, and that's certainly the business that they are in. But to go ahead and have the ability and have the courage to go ahead and say, yeah, you know what, yeah, we're struggling right now. And there hasn't been a lot of struggling going on, but look out, Roosevelt gets his helmet knocked off by Ronaldo. Just having a feel and knowing what is right, and claims it's an off day or a rest day or whatever it is, and that certainly adds up, and the players know, hey, you know what? You play well, you win games, you're going to get a lot of rest. Forget what the collective bargaining agreement says. You know, you're gonna play for a coach that understands that rest is as important as anything else that you do during the regular season besides the act of playing.
Chance from Rastig looking to center for Kane. He was trying to get a hat trick for Patrick Kane. The pass, though, was tipped and then covered.
Well, Lots of positives in this game for sure. The power play. Patrick Kane with a couple of those goals. And you like what Chris Versteeg's thinking here, trying to get the puck to 88. Ended up going off the left skate. But lots of positives in this game. And go back to the start of this game. Flyers with some golden chances, but missed the net. I mean, it took them almost 5 or 6 minutes to get one shot on goal. And then towards the end of the second period with the game 3-0. Raanta with a couple of terrific saves on Claude Giroux. You just never know. Partner, right? I mean, you get one or whatever, it's 3-1, and you know you're getting a power play, and the next thing you know, you're within one shot of getting back in the game. But a real good performance by the Hawks here against the Flyers.
There's a shot deflecting just wide. Final minute now of regulation time. As it's cleared to center ice. Versteeg came up with it. Roosevelt will dump it in there. Flyers with one more bid. Reed with half a minute. Put it in behind. Taken by Kruger. And the Hawks have a 4-on-3. Kruger dropped to Hjalmarsson. To Kruger, a shot. Good save, Mason. Rebound, Couturier. And Reed will run out of time. Antti Raanta makes one final save, and the 25-year-old Antti Raanta has his second ever NHL whitewash. A 32-save shutout of the Philadelphia Flyers. Look at that smile through the mask.
And what I love too, Pat, is that Brent Seabrook skated all the way down to grab the puck for Antti Raanta. And he's probably going to place it in that big trapper and congratulate him with the shutout. And that's leadership at its finest by Brent Seabrook. Maybe Seabrook's going to take the puck home with him.
Well, the Hawks salute their fans as they do after every home ice victory. And a 2 power play goal game for Patrick Kane. Other strikes from Saad and Bickle as the Hawks' third line comes up with a couple of tallies. And the Chicago Blackhawks move to 4-0-1 in the early going. Check out the 3 stars.
Right. The number 3 star of the game from the Blackhawks with 1 goal and 1 assist. Number 20, Brandon Saad. The number 2 star of the game from the Blackhawks with 2 goals, number 88, Patrick Kane. And the number 1 star of the game from the Blackhawks with 32 saves and the shutout, number 31, Antti Raanta. Please turn your attention to the Blackhawks bench, where Luke Stuckmeyer is with tonight's number 1 star of the game, Antti Raanta.
Antti, that's some kind of dance you got out there. What do you call that move?
Just some Finnish moves. I was doing those in Finland, and I was thinking, why not in here? We have a great crowd, so why not?
Boy, you just found out a few hours ago you're going to make this start. How difficult is your role to be ready all the time?
Well, of course, every day is a little bit different, but I have felt good in training camp and in practice, so I was confident to come this game, and we have been practice good, so it was great to have a start in home, so fantastic feelings now.
really good pace to the game. How much do those early goals help you as well?
Well, of course, it's always good thing that we can score early goals, but I think we played good 60 minutes. Of course, Philly got a couple good pressure points for our end, but I think we was playing great game, all 4 lines and all 60 minutes.
Congratulations on your second career shutout.
Thanks a lot.
Antti Raanta, your #1 star.